Okay. Are you excited that you're on Instagram? And you're on... Are you...
Psyched.
Okay. Hi, y'all.
But this is the first time I've ever put something on Instagram.
This is, yes. And I feel really special. Okay,
Am I a grammar now? Is that the word for it?
No. Right. Wow. Okay. Hi, my name is Graeme, and I am the mom for moms. And this is Adam. So we are doing today, we're doing an AMA where you can just ask us absolutely anything. And this whole idea came from, I'm in the middle of the launch for Motherload Liberation right now, and I've been sharing a lot about hey Sarah, I've been sharing a lot about our relationship. I've been like talking about you behind your back like a bunch, and so I thought people should actually get to meet him. I didn't think that was not me. That was actually my business manager Jess that was like put him on the gram.
She knows awesome when she sees it.
Oh my god, y'all. Okay, so we sent out an email to a bunch of folks who were on my email list and asked them, what did they want to know? Like, what did they want me to ask Adam? So I have questions for you.
Okay.
Are you ready? And you guys can ask questions too. Y'all can ask questions too. And if you're watching this, you're watching the recording and not the live, you can still put questions in the comments, and I will bug him with your questions later. I am happy to annoy him really at any time. So, yeah, go ahead and just pop questions in whenever. Okay, so the first one that I want to tackle is from Dawn, because I've been talking a lot lately about people trying to have, like, 50-50 relationships and balance in, like, all parts of their lives and how completely impossible that is. So Dawn said that she was curious about the parts of the process of creating a 100-100 relationship that Adam has struggled with and how he worked through those things. So for y'all that are new to kind of like me and my stuff, the difference between a 50-50 relationship and a 100-100 relationship is that in a 50-50 relationship, you're keeping a balance sheet in the back of your head or in the front of your head, and you're trying to make sure that everybody has the same amount of whatever. And in a 100-100 relationship, you're both 100% in. You're both 100% responsible. And you know what that looks like practically changes day by day and with who needs what and all of that stuff. But at the core, like, you are both 100% committed, I guess. So I'm going to stop talking because it's supposed to be your thing.
Okay.
You know I'm not actually going to stop talking. My point is jump in.
All right. Yeah, no, I mean, on that one, especially when you're talking about doing like a 50-50 relationship or something like that, you're exactly right that there's a balance sheet. It's transactional.
Right.
Right?
Wait, did you just say I was right about something?
I say you're right about stuff occasionally, usually when you agree with me. Now, but like, if that's the way you're trying to run a relationship, it's not going to work. Right? Like, relationships are asymmetrical. Right? Like, you don't do the exact same things I do. It's impossible for you to do the exact same things.
Well, because you're taller than I am.
Yeah, I can reach the top shelf.
Yes.
That would be hopeless for you.
Wow.
So, I mean, the kids have a step stool. But, and like, anytime a transaction is asymmetrical, even if it is technically even,
right,
both sides are going to feel like they're getting shafted.
Yes.
Right? Like,
no, that makes sense.
That's just reality.
Right.
And like, it's important to realize that your relationship isn't a transaction.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't cook dinner so that you stick around. Right? Like, I'm not buying your company.
Now my whole mind is blown. Why the hell are you cooking dinner, sir?
Because I like grilled cheese sandwiches.
Okay.
But
no, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so, like, you just, this is a thing we're doing together.
Yeah.
And if I'm not willing to go 100% into it,
Right.
then it's not worth doing. Right? And if you're not
mean,
willing
yeah.
to go 100% into it, then
Right.
like
Yeah.
if I love you, surprising everybody.
See?
And
Do you
like,
see what I have to put up with?
if I'm not willing to go in 100% to help you help us as a family be successful,
Right.
then
Yeah.
what the hell am I ever even
Dude,
doing here?
this
Like,
is my question. I don't think you understand the number of moms that I talk to, though, who would be just totally blown away by, like, you saying that. Like, I keep trying to tell them that you're not, like, some, you know, special unicorn person, that you're, like, just a dude, and if you can do this, then other people can do this. But I feel like there's some mom watching this right now that's like, oh my God. Like, I don't think you understand how rare that is. I shouldn't be saying any of this to you because your head is just going to be swelling the whole time. But no, I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I know, like, for my parents, my mom was always fighting for that 50-50, like that feeling of things being equal. Mm-hmm. And I have to work on, you already know this, there is always a ledger in the back of my head. Mm-hmm. And I do always assume that I am, like, in the red on that ledger. Like, constantly.
Yeah.
Whether I actually am or not, I just feel like I am all the time.
Yeah.
And I have to work on that. And
Yeah.
you have to yell at me about that pretty regularly. Yes.
Yeah, and then the question specifically about the process of creating the
yes.
relationship.
I
mean, it's hard. I feel like when we first started our relationship, that was not the mindset either of us.
Oh
had.
God, no. No.
Right,
dude, we were in like
Like,
survival mode.
yeah. Well, even like once we kind of got out of that, like I feel like the nature of this relationship, like as it stands now, is relatively recent. Mm-hmm. The last 3 or 4 years.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, it's really just about pointing out that, like, say explicitly that it's not a transaction. Right? Like, communicate that.
Yes,
like, it's not about,
yeah.
oh, you know, you make X amount of money, I make Y amount of money, so I have to do the difference worth in housework. Or something like that, right? Like, that's nonsense.
Well, no, I feel like so many people are doing that automatically, right? Like, they don't...
Well, welcome to capitalism.
Right.
Like...
Look, if they said it out loud, they'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Right? But that's what they're doing. Like, it's how they're living their relationship without having ever said it out loud. So, yeah, I think that probably... that would probably blow some minds if they actually said it out loud. Like, I feel like I have to do X or Y or Z because you're making more money, and so you're paying more bills. So I feel like I need to be doing this or that, or prioritizing your rest, or... I don't know. I don't think like that anymore, so sometimes it's hard for me to come up with the thing.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really just like accepting the fact we were raised in a place where you are taught that your value... Your worth as a human is the amount of monetary value you can generate.
Right.
And no.
That doesn't work when you're trying to, like, raise small humans. That doesn't work.
No. How much is changing a poopy diaper worth?
Because
if we're putting an amount on that, I need my check.
Look. But even with that, okay, so this is the other part that I feel like gave us, like, maybe a slightly different foundation from some folks. Like, first kid, right? In the hospital after the 10 million hours of labor and the almost dying and all of that shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't change diapers. Like, I couldn't move. I remember not being able to, like, sit up enough to be able to... Oh, I never told you. I don't use their names on the thing. I just use their ages.
Got it.
So, like, when 8 was a baby, like, I remember not being able to, like... to change his diaper. And you, like, sleeping on the floor in the hospital room, and all of the nurses just, like, dying over the fact that you were sleeping on the floor. And just
I'm a
being
very
like,
large man, and the bed that was in there for me was nonsense.
I know. He's
Like
a giant human.
If I was 5'4", I might have been able to sleep on that thing.
My mom did stretch out on that
yeah.
thing, and she was right.
She's a hobbit.
I know, but
Your
no.
mom, the hobbit, slept on it.
Okay, but my I'm sending her this live now.
Sure.
Just so that she can see you call her a hobbit. I'm sending her this
I've called
live.
her a hobbit to her face.
I know.
Like,
Oh my god. Okay.
well, I mean, not her face. It's too low.
Wow. Mommy, that's your friend. Okay. So no, but I think, all right. But there was, like, from the very, very beginning, there was, like, shit you had to do because I physically couldn't do it.
Yep.
Right? And my dad had 4 kids that we know of, and he never changed a diaper once.
Yeah.
Not once. Not one time. Not one time. And so it's like 8 years of a child of his being in diapers, maybe what, 10 or 11 years total of a child of his, like, being in diapers. He never changed a diaper. He never wiped a butt. Like even in the potty training stage where, you know, you have to go in with them and wipe up after them and you're, like, literally showing them how to take care of themselves. He never did any of that. And he is, like, continually shocked.
It wasn't the first diaper I bet. I'm the oldest of 13 grandchildren.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
For the first 20 years of my life, there was always a child in diapers around.
So this is right, and so these are. It all comes into play. It all, like, pulls together. So some of this, like, just isn't universal shit, you know?
No.
Yeah. Some of it is just, maybe you're a little bit of a unicorn. You're not really. You're just normal.
Well-ish. Yeah, unicorns are like a hippogriff. There's more than one of them.
I can't.
You can't bring up mystical creatures as
Somebody
who plays as much D&D.
I know! Somebody help me! Oh, Alexis is here! Hi, boo-boo! Do you feel better? Okay, I can't, like, actually hug you through the thing. I'm gonna be fine. I'm focusing. This is me focusing. Okay. So Sarah's question was, how do you communicate with your partner that you need them to lean into and participate? I think we kind of did that. Like, you just tell them
you have to say
to
it.
stop sucking.
You have to say directly and clearly what you want.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
There is no hinting at it.
Right.
There is no.
Yes.
Like, don't make a statement hoping that your partner will volunteer.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
To do the thing that you want to do.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna
work. Like, even early in our relationship, right. I was always willing to help.
Yeah.
Our big problem was communicating about what sort of help you wanted.
Yeah. Well, because I didn't know.
Yeah, because
I
hadn't figured it out.
I legit didn't know. And then when I started to figure it out, I felt like I couldn't ask. I couldn't say anything because I was making so much less money and you were working so hard and I had been so sick for so long and you had done so much to to make sure that, the kids and I were still, like, alive and functional, right? So, yeah, there was that ledger.
Yeah,
there was that balance sheet
yeah.
in the back of my head that, like, I couldn't ask for anything. I couldn't be tired. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't, like, whatever. And then I would just get really pissed that you weren't magically reading my mind.
Yeah.
And then just blow up because you weren't magically reading my mind. Which you 100% deserved, because why were you magically reading my mind?
Lazy.
Right?
Yeah. But, yeah, no, like, it is precisely about saying, hey, I need help.
Right.
Can you blank?
X. Yeah. Y. Or, like, I just can't do Y anymore. I can't. It's not gonna, I can't do it. I can't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not it doesn't
it
have to be
have to go back further.
Thing.
I know, we suck at this. Dude, look, we're so bad at this. We're so bad at this.
It's her fault. This is my first time.
So how is it, like, what?
Because I have a natural charisma that is
my
obvious to everybody. So if this isn't working...
Oh my God! Someone come get him. Are any of you in Colorado? Would you like a tall bearded spreadsheet? Please come get... Okay.
But, so yeah, no, it is really just about, say, I need you to help me.
Yes.
Can you do this? And try not to make it a one-off thing, right? Like, don't make it, can you pick the kids up?
Right.
Or can you cook dinner tonight? Right. Say, hey, I need help. I need you to cook dinner on Tuesdays.
Right.
Or every
to take
other
over
night.
Dinner. Like,
or
I need
to do all dinner.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because that's more or less where we've landed is...
Right.
I do the majority of the cooking.
I wanted to ask you, I had a question because I can't, you know how my brain does the memory thing.
Shoot.
Okay. I don't remember. How long were you cooking dinner before you got tired of your cooking and you decided that you were going to, like, look up recipes and shit like that? Because you took over, so he took over dinner, right? But, and one of the things that I hear from moms all the time is like, oh, but then I'm just better at it. Whatever it is, like laundry, dinner, picking up the kids, homework, taking the kids to therapy. Like, there's 10 million things. Whatever the thing is, I keep hearing from folks all the time that for moms, it's easier for me to do it myself. I'm just better at it. He doesn't know what he's doing, blah, 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 right? And that's true about a lot of things because I was the one that was cooking for a really long time. But... then you started doing it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I remember, like, eating a lot of hot dogs in the beginning, but my memory is Swiss cheese. So I don't remember, like, how long it was before you decided, I'm going to go online and find a recipe for something, blah, blah, blah.
It really wasn't long. Because I took over doing it pretty much every night at more or less the start of COVID.
Right.
Right. Like, that's when it happened.
Right.
So we had a freezer full of stuff that we'd stocked on up from Costco because we were, that was early enough that we're like, all right, we're not leaving the house for 3 months.
Yes.
So we need to be ready for that.
Right.
And we had 15 pounds of ground beef or something like that in there. And, like, I only knew off the top of my head so many ways to cook it.
Right. Right.
Right. It was coming up with things to do with ground beef and things to do with chicken.
Well, everybody's trying to come up with things to do with chicken, yeah.
I can put it in the pan and then it's cooked and then we eat it. But, like, what else can you do?
Right.
It wasn't long. It was a couple weeks.
And that was, like, at the same time that your children decided to be super picky eaters.
Yeah.
Too.
Yep.
My kids would never do anything like that.
No, not at all. Totally not your kids.
My kids are amazing.
So, yeah, like, it took a couple weeks of me doing it, right? Yeah. Of just being like, all right, I don't want hamburgers again. Right. I need to figure something else to do with this pile of meat.
Right.
So yeah, that's when I started looking. I think the beef stroganoff recipe was the first one I grabbed and started doing.
Yeah.
And the creamy chicken broccoli one because I know you like your creamy chicken broccoli stuff.
I like cheese and veggies, and I like creamies. There's a reason
but more along the lines of the, like, I just do it because he's not as good. He's not as, to a certain amount of time, I needed to know that you were okay with the fact that I wasn't as good at it as you.
Yeah, no, I ate the hot dogs, man.
And that I was going, and that and that I was free to do it the way I wanted to do it, right? Like, you because that was another problem we had early is that you would ask me to do a thing and I'd do it and you'd be upset with the way it got.
Well, because it wasn't my way.
Yeah,
which means it wasn't right.
Whether or
obviously,
whether or not that was like you just didn't like the approach I took. Right. You didn't like the way it finished.
I know, honestly, babe, right? I didn't like not having control.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't like I was terrified of not having control. I was terrified that if I was honestly, there was a part of me, and this is like, Do you remember Sarah, the super shrink?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this was a thing that, like, she pulled out of my head one day. That there was a part of me that was really scared that you were going to do it better than me, whatever it was, and that then you wouldn't need me. And then, like, then what the hell is the point of me being around? Like, my worth came from the fact
that you were
that I was a better, that I could do these things better, right? And so then what was the point? Like, why would you even... I'm a pain in the ass in so many other ways. If I could not do these things, then why would you even keep me around? Like, she was one of the first people that looked me in the eye and was like, you know, it's ridiculous, right? Like, the way that she coddled me. No, like, she just, like, looked at me and laughed.
Transactional,
Yeah,
right? Like, what value are you bringing that I would keep you? And forgetting that, like, you know, I love you and...
Well, and then we just decided to do this thing together. Like, we made a commitment to do this thing together. And also forgetting the fact that, like, I would be okay. Like, if the worst happened, you, obviously, would just be a puddle
devastated.
Of goo.
Yeah.
Right. No, it would suck and it would be horrible, but, like, I wouldn't actually die. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
So I guess that sums up to be clear and direct about what you want.
Yes.
Make sure it's a recurring thing, not a one-off thing, right? Like, yes, because then they'll just hang on to that one time I picked that dinner at the store a month ago. Don't say I never help you.
And it's not a favor. Yeah, no, this is not a favor. No.
Just say, I need you to take care of this for us.
Yes.
And then also be accepting of the fact that they might do it differently than you would, both in approach and ability. Yeah. Right?
They're going to be...
And make sure that... Make sure that's okay.
And don't step back in. I think so that was...
let that be it.
That was part of why I was asking, was that I couldn't remember if it was like a week, 3 weeks, whatever. I do remember at one point being like, oh my God, I cannot eat any more hot dogs, and being like, I cannot do it. And then having the second thought of like, but my second thought was like, but bitch, you don't have the energy to cook. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Okay. Like, this is a conversation that I had with me and myself, and the three of us sat down and had a chat. And I do remember one day thinking, like, maybe I should just say something to him or give him, that's what it was. My Food Network login. Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to give you. And then I was like, no, Graeme, no. If he's doing this, then he's doing this. And he knows that you have 20 million recipes for things. And if he wants them, he will ask you, because you've never been, like, shy of retiring.
True.
Yeah. I think, like, that was the way that I didn't screw it up is by not, like, trying to, like, be, I don't know, managerial or whatever.
Yeah. You gave me the freedom in the room to succeed or fail by my own definition of what success and failure was.
Right. Yes.
Because you trusted that I wouldn't accept what I thought was failure. Also, right?
Yeah.
Like, I will do my job.
Yes.
I will do what I think is the right thing.
Yeah.
And and try to be successful at it. Yeah. And in time.
It's also not like rocket science, and you're a grown ass man. You can make some food. Like, it's not like, I mean, yeah. Shout out to Binging with Babish on YouTube, and Baking with Babish, and wait, what's the other one?
I forget. It's like the Babish Culinary Institute is the name of the channel.
Oh my God!
Well, that's because he's got like 4 series.
He's building a world. Yeah, there's this dude on YouTube who has saved our dinner times. He's awesome, and we love him. And yes, yeah. Okay, wait, there's more.
Oh yeah, that's like 2 of 7.
I know, there's more. Okay, this one made me really angry, so, like, I just want you to, get to be really angry. Okay, so this is from my friend Stacy Spensley, who runs a Facebook group. And so this question actually came in through Stacy's Facebook group. So, Based on a super random message that I got on, it was on Instagram. Based on a super random message I got on Instagram this morning, would Adam say to his friends about you going out or having me time or leaving town alone, etc.? Okay, so I gotta tell you, babe. So Tara, that does the retreats, that keeps like dragging me to places. That's her right there.
That's her fault.
Yeah, it's her fault.
Oh, okay.
Hi,
Tara. No, I'm honest. Like, I just say, like, she went out with some friends. Like, it's not a thing.
She went to New Orleans.
She went to New Orleans. She went to summer camp for a week.
And all I got
is this tie-dye t-shirt, which is an awesome tie-dye t-shirt.
Look.
But you're not the one that even made it for me.
I am not the one that made you the t-shirt. I got you the t-shirt.
You did. You convinced one of the other women at summer camp to make it for you.
Yes.
But...
So that it's the transitive property of tie-dye.
Yeah.
I tie-dyed the t-shirt.
Exactly. Right? Like, it's not... I have a hard time understanding someone who would be uncomfortable saying that. That, like...
I don't know, dude.
Sorry, Jimmy, I can't come out tonight.
Right.
Graham went to a concert.
Right?
Like...
Yeah.
I'm a parent, too.
See?
I have responsibility here, too. You have as much right to leave the house and go have some fun as I do. Like...
Yes. So that was my question, like when... Well, the first thoughts that I had when I saw that were all 4-letter words. But after I calmed down, my question was, like, well, what does she say when he goes places? And then my other question was, like, are both of y'all just stuck in the house 24/7? Like pre-pandemic?
Yeah. Yeah. And I will admit,
I mean, I love you, but I don't love you 24/7 in the house together, though. Like,
True.
I don't, like,
True.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Like, I am willing to admit that I might be, like, less susceptible to peer pressure.
That is very
than
true.
your typical person.
Yes.
Right? Like, I was super susceptible to it. And then my junior year of high school, I got sick of not having fun and said, fuck it, I'm going to be me.
Yeah.
But
most people don't do that, babe.
If other people don't like that,
right,
that's their problem, not mine.
Okay, so most people don't have that, like, revelation at, like, 16 years old.
And the ability to
follow through. Right. Yeah, no. Most people don't have, like, little light switches in their brains. Most people have to do years of therapy to get to that point.
I am aware of emotions.
Okay.
They can be turned off when necessary.
So this is the second part of the question, though, that's, like, literally the second... Was he raised to communicate emotions, feelings, and needs, and that's why you married her, or is that something that you needed to work on together? Oh, Stacy's here now. Stacy, we're doing your question. Hi, Stace. It's like, no,
I wasn't.
No.
Graham sent me these questions ahead of time so I could think about them a little bit.
Right.
And this one, like, I thought a lot about how I was raised and how that may or may not be informing my parenting style right now. Right?
Yeah.
My parents were super mellow. Like, they were relaxed.
They were high all the time.
Yeah, you might chalk that up to the fact that my childhood cat was named Doobie. Unrelated, I'm sure.
I love them so much.
But, like, they weren't strict. They weren't.
Yeah.
Like, we grew up super rural. Like, I was basically allowed to leave. I wasn't allowed to cross the road by myself until I was, like, 10. But aside from that, I could do whatever I wanted.
Right, but, like, on your side of the road was like...
acres of property.
I was going to say, and your grandmother's house,
yeah.
and, like, aunts and uncles, and, like, 10 million cousins, and, like, I couldn't cross the road. It's not the same as, like, our suburban life. Like, if our kids couldn't cross the road. Like, they wouldn't have 5 farms to choose from on our side of the road.
True. They wouldn't have a fort in a hedgerow like I did it.
Right. Like, you had an entire community and a pretty, like, wide range of I'm thinking of, like, Leah and Zach. I'm thinking of, like, a wide age range, a bunch of different types of people who are all into, like, different types of stuff. And a little brother that you had to, like, you know.
But so you combine that with, like, my parents were relaxed. They were not strict at all. And I was well behaved.
I know, you're so,
Like,
so annoying.
I was a good kid. Like, when my parents said, hey, this is a boundary, I didn't test it.
Okay, but did you want to? Or
Not
were you
really.
just like...
I had so many options that, like, right? Like, so the movie cabinet is the prime example here, right? Like, my parents had a cabinet full of movies.
Yes.
And the only, like, full of all of 80, the 80s best R-rated, action movies and comedies and horrors and all that. There was one movie in there I wasn't allowed to watch.
Wait, what was it? Please tell me it was like Debbie Does Dallas or something.
No, it was like The Fabulous Baker. It was an NC-17, like, crime thriller.
Yeah.
I think it was The Fabulous Baker Boys, but I'm not positive on that.
But have you seen it yet? Because it's a really good movie. Oh my God!
They were just like, you're not allowed to watch this one, and they stuck it in the cabinet with the rest of them. And I just went like, all right.
That would have been the very first movie that I watched. I would not have only watched it. I would have memorized it
once, but I was like 8, so the fact I was like, oh. Like, the sex in it was just, like, I was like, I don't even know what this is. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it away, and I'm going to watch Alien again.
Because you were watching Alien at 8 years... Okay.
Yeah, repeatedly.
Oh my God, this explains so much about him as a person, y'all.
So I always felt... I was kind of left to my own devices, but I always knew that I could ask them for the things I wanted, right? Like, there wasn't ever any, like, no, you're not allowed to have that thing.
Right.
They never came down on me for saying, hey, can I do this?
Yeah.
Like, the answer might have been no.
Right.
But it was never...
But you weren't in trouble for asking.
Yeah, it was never in trouble for it. It was never, like, how dare you do that? No, you just got to do this other thing.
Right.
So, like, yeah,
I got that all the time. Like, you just got to do this. How dare you ask for this?
Like, the answer might be no, and it might be, like, we paid for that. We can't pay for this. And that's fine.
But you didn't, but they didn't, there wasn't like guilt attached to that. It was just a fact. It was like, we spent X on this, we don't have Y to spend on that. It was just like, it is what it is.
So I guess, like, in a non-intentional way, I was trained to ask for what I want, growing up. But that's just because my parents always allowed it. Right. It was never a bad thing to say, like, I want this.
Right.
And I think that's why I'm direct about what I want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That my dad is my dad. Who, if there is somebody out there more capable of turning off emotion with less tact than me, it is him.
Oh, he is.
Next to him, I'm a master diplomat.
I think, but that's the thing, like, I learned to ask for what I want really, really recently. Like, during the course of our relationship.
Yes. I remember when it happened.
Like,
I remember the first time you came up to me and you were like, Adam, I need to go lay down. I'm really tired and I'm worn out and it's been a hard day and I need a break. I was like, sure, go ahead. Right? Because, like, in the past, you would have, like, scowled your way around the house doing things.
Yes.
In what I would have interpreted as you wanting me to say, hey, why don't you go take a break?
Right.
Right? Like, that first time, it was summer of 2019.
Oh my God! I
said,
can't believe that you remember exactly.
Can I have a break?
I can't talk to you anymore. We're turning this off. That's so embarrassing. Well, no, because but the way that I was raised, like, I had two modes. I would either be really angry about the fact that you didn't somehow just magically know when I needed and give it to me.
Yep.
Because I was expected to do that for both of my parents and for other people in my... Like, I was expected to just magically know and to provide the things that they needed.
Yeah.
And so I learned, like, I had, like, a pretty sharp antenna on, like, how to do that. And I assumed that everybody else did, and that if they weren't using it, they weren't using it on purpose. Which, like, there was a whole ton of assumptions in there that weren't, like, actually true. Or the push it down, don't feel it at all, and just put on a smiley face and do the thing. And so I would do the push it down, push it down, push it down until I couldn't anymore. And then I would get angry that you hadn't seen through the smiley face.
Yeah.
And that you weren't like magically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how I learned how to communicate once. Feelings, she taught me.
I
to the
did.
extent that I do it now.
No,
Because-
and also like taking 8 to therapy and, you know, and talking with the therapist about like the fact that we have a feelings chart on our refrigerator, I think, you know.
Like it helps. I am still very much, like I said, I am aware of emotion. I am aware when I I'm kind of angry about that, and I can feel angry.
No, but that's literally.
But I can also then choose to not feel angry.
Nobody else can do that.
I can just be like,
nobody else can.
this sucks. I'm pissed about it. Can I do anything? No. All right, fine. Stick it in the back of my brain, and it's still there, and I'm still aware that it's there, and it may affect my mood, in some ways, but I'm never like, I don't blow up. I don't know that I've ever been angry to the point that I've lost control. Like,
no, I blow
don't
up constantly.
Act out emotionally.
Yeah, no. No.
And like you have learned to be like, there's an emotion in the back of your head right now.
No, because what'll happen is there will be like a tiny furrow or like one eyebrow. It's like the tiniest little. Y'all, I don't think you understand. It's like that little bit is a frown. It's like micro expressions.
Yeah.
Yes. Like that show about the dude who could tell when people were lying because he memorized like all the little, I can't remember what it was called, but he memorized like all the micro expressions or whatever. Yeah, you have like this one little like tiny little bit, and you'll be like, I'm enraged. And I'm like, but how? Yeah.
I am at this moment prepared to set a thing on fire. And you'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so, sorry, can't help with that one. That was, it's
yeah.
just the way my brain is wired.
It's just,
I'm a natural born engineer. So.
Oh man, it really, really, really just cracks me up. But no, I mean, you did come to me a couple months ago and you were like, I think I'm having anxiety.
Yeah.
Like you were able to put a name on it and know what it was and ask for help and like brainstorm and shit. You did that.
And I did.
A+.
And I learned it from you.
Oh, well. All right. Cool.
I honestly learned it from watching you have anxiety. Like, to be honest, like it was like, wait, when Graeme has anxiety or having panic attacks or something like that,
Right.
she complains about a tightness in her throat and her heart beating really. That's how I'm feeling. Okay, maybe that's what this is.
I feel like finally that my anxiety was good for something because other than that, all it does is raise my blood pressure and like.
Well, I live there, so
That's really Oh my god, we are such a mess. I really did tell you that this was going to be like 10 minutes, and it's been way longer than that. But I'm sorry. And also I'm not stopping because we have one more question.
Yeah.
Okay. And also you knew that it wasn't going to be 10. Like you knew that, right?
No.
Okay.
I know better.
Okay. So Wendrin's question is just, it's not phrased in form of a question, but like a topic. Communicating what each person needs in ways the other person can actually hear and understand. And I feel like that's just practice.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It's, you have to get used to it. Again, it kind of goes back to what we were saying before about being clear. Right?
But
Be
there were
direct
many
and
times I
be clear.
thought I was being clear, and I wasn't being... Well, maybe I was being clear, and you were just not receiving... Oh, wow. Okay, that happened.
I mean,
but you were just not receiving.
How long did it take you to learn how to write a shopping list for me?
Okay, so here's the thing, y'all.
I'm going to give it a try.
Here's the thing. No, but here's the thing. There are very specific like brands and things that we always use and that we always get all the time. And so when I say applesauce, what I mean is like the applesauce that we always get. Just not like, this is not hard. If you are ever in a relationship with an engineer, what I need you to do is write down, just take pictures of shit and send them the pictures. Because you can't just say, I need tampons. You have to say exactly the thing of the...
No, see, I remember this first happening with beans. You sent me to the store with a shopping list that said beans. But there's lots of different kinds of beans. And they come dried and canned and
But the
fresh.
context of the rest of the list... But this was before you were cooking, too.
And you didn't...
So the context of the rest of the list, like...
It's all food. Like, there are different sizes of packages. She sent me to the store with a shopping list that said beans once. I came home with baked beans. She wanted navy beans.
Because I was making, like, I had to have been making something that we had to have talked about. And
I still assert she said beans and got beans.
Cool. Okay.
So.
But now, what do? I just take pictures of the things that I need and I send you the pictures.
Yeah. When it's that specific, yeah.
Yes.
Or you just say 15-ounce can of navy beans or whatever.
Because he will, from the store, be like, there's an 8-ounce can, there's a 15-ounce can, there's a 32-ounce can, there's that. And I'm like, woo, okay, just some. So this is the other problem, is that I am a southern enough cook that, like, my actual measuring is like, I don't know, some and a couple handfuls and some more until it's right. And you can't send somebody to the store with a couple handfuls and some more until it's right, because that is not a measurable amount.
If you had written a couple handfuls of beans,
You
I
would have literally gotten a couple of handfuls.
No, I would have been there with, like, the can. I'd be like, my hand or her hand?
Oh my god! See, this is the...
So, clarity and specificity is a good place to start. It takes practice to get it right, because your first time around, you are probably not being as clear or specific as you think you are.
Right.
And also, you can't be certain that they are hearing the same thing you're saying. Right? Like, there's uncertainty on both ends.
Yeah.
You have to kind of feel it out a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I think just being direct, don't dance around it, don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
I need help. Can you blank?
Yeah. Well, and I still, like, there will still be times when you will say something super innocuous, like, just really, like the sky is blue, and I'll be like, he hates me. And I have learned that, like, oh, that's probably my anxiety, and he probably is just talking about the color of the sky. And so I've learned to be like, so when you said the sky was blue, I thought that you hated me. Do you hate me? And you'll just be like, no. Because it's probably the 50th time I've asked you that. But I think that's also, like, that's part of communicating the need, because when I don't ask, I have anxiety spiral in my head. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, hey, babe, can you do, I don't know, like, something really ridiculous? And I'm like, oh, he's judging me because I didn't already have that done. You know, you'll be like, can you hand me this thing out of the fridge? And it hits me like you were saying, you are a horrible person and you should die, you know, which is, you're just asking for the milk out of the fridge, you know.
You communicate with subtext, I communicate with text.
Yes.
And us trying to... Well, I was like, no, I say what I say. I say what I mean. I will always say what I mean, and I will always assume you are saying what you mean.
Right, there's your problem
and
right there.
that was our disconnect for so long.
There's your problem right there.
As I was like, I will assume that what you say is literal truth.
Right, and so every time I said I'm fine, you were like, okay, she's fine. Never was I fine, not once.
And I eventually learned that. I know that there's fine and there's fine, and...
Well, I mean, I was honestly raised that, like, you couldn't do that. That wasn't safe. I was not, you know, it just wasn't okay. God forbid that you say what you actually mean. Yeah. No. That is for when you are drunk. That is the only time. Yeah, you don't, everything is subtext. Like, that's why I ended up in the theater, dude.
That's why I ended up an engineer.
Right.
I'm a software engineer. Like,
yeah,
computers only understand literal truth in text.
I could never. This is why I don't understand. Yeah, my brain would explode.
Yeah.
I would have like some type of aneurysm.
But I
or
typed
something.
please.
I don't look. Okay, I'm reading through all of these things. There's something. I feel like there's something that. Oh, balancing each other's needs with caregiving. I don't know. Just throw the kids in a dungeon, man.
Yeah, I mean that. The way we've done it is we trade off. Like we've structured our life in such a way that one parent can run it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Which I don't think was an overly intentional decision, but we just kind of evolved into that.
Right.
That just like all the routines we've built with the kids, the way that we've got various things scheduled, it's always so that it is possible for one person to do it. Yeah. That person will
It's not preferable.
No, that person will be tired as hell at the end of the day.
Yes.
But one person can
do it. Yeah.
So, and that makes it possible that when you need a break or I need a break, then the other person can say, is able to take over. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then the rest of it, that's the logistical side to being able to pull that off.
That's your job.
That is my job. And then, like the rest of everything else we've talked about kind of rolls into that too, right? Like it's not keeping a balance sheet, right? Like, don't see your relationship as transactional, because then I'll just be like, man, this is the 5th time this month that Graeme needed a break.
Right.
Can I
Where are my 5
minutes?
breaks?
Yeah,
no.
Like,
Yeah.
No dice, don't do it.
Yeah.
And then also accept that, like, we both kind of need different things. Right.
Yeah,
you do really well when you can get a couple hours of break every day.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I need downtime. I am realizing
in the afternoon.
That I need downtime
to break up your activity break activity.
Yes.
Where I can do 8, 10, 12 hours straight.
So weird.
But then I need time after that.
Yeah.
Right. So,
which kind of works out.
Yeah, like we balance. You get your break, you do your thing, you go to bed early. I stay up late and play video games and watch horror movies and whatnot.
At night, horror movies at night when it's dark. Okay. But I was thinking, I was looking at that, that swim place that just opened up in town, and I was looking at the swim stuff, and for 8's age range, there's classes on Saturdays and Tuesdays. And Tuesdays is Dungeons and Dragons. It is. And I just automatically was like, we're not doing Tuesday. And then there was a little thing in the back of my mind that was like, you should write a blog post about this. And then I forgot until just now, because that's how my brain works. But yeah, like there's things. See, they get it. How horrible and how terrifying that is to watch. They're on my side.
No, like that's the best time.
No, they're on my.
Like watching a scary movie and then going to the bathroom in the dark and hearing something hit the window. And,
he's secretly a serial killer.
I'm 40 years old. There's no way I'm afraid of the alien outside
I am
the window.
afraid of the alien outside the window. I am afraid.
So am I. I'm totally afraid of the alien. And alien abduction movies freak me out. I love them.
But you watch them. Okay. Focusing. But no, I think like part of it is our kids just aren't. There's things like our kids aren't gonna do. If our kids really ever wanted to do a thing that was on a Tuesday night, we would either have to move D&D, which would involve like a bunch of other people, and so you'd have to see if that was even possible, right? Or they would just not do that thing. Yeah. And they're not gonna die. Like, they're just not gonna die.
Yeah. And
if they don't get to do the thing. I mean, I'm not super worried about them getting to. They're never gonna be in like swimming and karate and ballet and soccer and like neither one of us. I don't feel
neither
like
one of them would want that.
Right. Well, also, I just don't have that kind of energy. Like, true. I'm just like, nah, no, never. That's just not ever gonna happen. okay, now that I've said never, tomorrow they're both going to become obsessed with like extracurricular activities just because I said never on Instagram. But I just feel like it's one of those things where like it's okay if your kids aren't doing 50 million things. You know, part of that like one parent can run the household thing is that there are tablets and there is like, yeah, we don't have cable, but we have every possible way for kids to watch movies in this house. Yeah. Like,
our kids,
you know,
our kids watch more TV than the world says they should.
Whatever, man.
But that is what's necessary for us.
Yeah.
To like be reasonably healthy and comfortable. And
so did I. Like, I watched more TV than the world. I still watch more TV than the world says I should, and the world can bite me. Like, I just don't. Yeah. I mean.
Well, yeah. So yeah, no, we kind of structured our life around it, and again, we were honest about what we want and what we need and what we're capable of.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, if you ever come to me and ask for a thing, I'm honest about whether or not I can provide it.
And that helps me get over my fear of asking, because I know that if you say yes, that you mean it. I am still going to say really like 5 times.
Yeah. And then feel guilty about it.
Yes. Yeah. I'm working on it.
I know. We're getting there.
But I do know that if you don't want to do the thing or you whatever, if there's a part of you that's like no, that you'll just be like, no, babe, sorry, no. You'll just
or
say
at least have the discussion,
right? Or you'll be like, I really don't want to.
Yeah.
Or can we do it a different way? Can we do it on another day? Can we do it for less time? Can we do it for less money? Like you're not ever gonna say yes just because I asked, or like just to make me feel better. Yeah. That's really helpful, though. Like, that makes me freak out less. Oh, God, I'm being nice. I can't. Somebody ask something. I can't.
I say I've been kind of keeping half an eye on chat. I don't think I've seen any
like
questions.
Nice, and it's freaking me out.
But it is clear that they like me.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
They like me more. Okay. So, yes. Oh, wow. This was like a long time. We did like a long... That was a really long 10 minutes.
We're getting near an hour.
That was a really long 10 minutes. Okay. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's all the questions.
I think that was everything that we had. If you guys... Oh, we love you too! No, hi!
Hey!
Alexis booed Adam.
No more jokes for you.
Me. Okay, so yeah. I think okay, really, just to wrap this up, like the point of the whole thing is that like all of this stuff that I'm teaching in Motherload Liberation is all stuff like you were my first guinea pig. Mm-hmm. We were my first guinea pig. Like our family, our relationship, this is all just stuff that like I stumbled through and figured out and screwed up like a lot and shot myself in the foot a bunch of times. And yeah, this whole course is either stuff that I discovered in therapy, stuff that I discovered from reading writings by feminist moms and womanist moms, and stuff that we just kind of like worked through, and then I figured out like you have to just say the thing that you need, and you just have to say it really clearly and really clearly, and probably over and over again, and just, all of it. And so that's how, like, that's really the whole everything about the course. So, that's pretty much it. Yeah,
and saying just like to add on that, like you had to learn how to ask. I had to learn how to receive that also, right? Like, because kind of the very early stages of all this, it felt like an attack.
Right? Yeah. Why are you like dropping gems right at the very end? What the hell, man?
Because this is when everybody's tuning. Like, people have been joining. If I'd said it right up front, only like 3 people.
Oh, what?
Am I gramming better than you?
Okay.
Am I a
Go
better
back to the
grandma?
thing. Talk about the guy.
Like it felt like an attack. It felt like you were accusing me of not caring about you and not doing my fair share. Again, getting back to the transaction.
Oh, right.
And I was like, no, I'm like I am though, right? Like
I'm a good dude.
and even like on top of that, like I never consciously was like, she's the woman. She's
Right.
Like I
right.
never or I make more money than her.
Right.
Or like those things weren't ever in my mind. My brain, it was always like, if she says she needs help, if she asks for something, I'll do it. Like
Right, but so
point
okay,
blank.
but
That's
that
also
dynamic that
wrong.
you're setting up, right, is that like
Yeah.
I am in charge of the house stuff, and then I have to ask for help instead of both of us being in charge of the house
Yeah.
stuff. And like, yeah, I think like that was the
And it
journey
is.
right there. Was that you were like waiting for me to ask for help, and then eventually I learned how to ask for help, and then eventually I learned how to be like, I don't want help, dude. It's your kid and your house and your life too, so just like do some shit. And
that wasn't a set of magic words that you said to me and I went, oh, right.
Right,
okay.
no, that did
Like
not happen.
it took
No.
work and growth on my part also.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. Well, on both of us,
But,
because like I
yeah.
didn't know any of this stuff. Like I didn't know I didn't know where the frustration was coming from, or where the overwhelm was coming from, or where, like, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to say it to you because I didn't know how to say it to myself.
Yep.
You know? Yeah. We did pretty good though.
Yeah. We're all right.
No,
No, let the people see
no,
you. Come on.
No, I'm being attacked. You're right. I'm telling you, you're right. I am, so wait, why is there a podcast? What just happened?
I think we're getting signed up for a podcast.
Show Anna. Show it. What is going? Okay, no, we are turning this off before.
Well, no, you had that podcast idea earlier.
What was the podcast?
It was a podcast of me telling you about the podcasts I listened to.
So he spends so much time every day, like, filling me in on the podcast. Because he listens to podcasts, like, all day long while he's, like, working. And I mean, no, if anyone from work is watching this.
No, they know.
My
boss and I recommend podcasts to each other.
Oh, okay, cool. So, so then at dinner, I get, like, the podcast roundup of, like, this is the funniest or the weirdest or, like, the thing that he just knows that I will like about whatever the podcast is. Great. So there's a podcast roundup. So today in the car, I had the idea for the meta podcast, which would be a podcast where Adam tells me about all of the podcasts that he listened to that day. That's what. It's Kaylin! Okay. That's Kaylin. Here's your manservant.
Terms to be negotiated.
That is the idea for the podcast. I mean, we could probably have a release. Look, this is so far past my bedtime right now, y'all.
You're getting kind of loopy.
A little bit. I am actually going to... Actually, I need you to use your eagle arms and click the X.
Okay.
We are going to say goodnight because I have to go to bed.
All right. Good night.
Bye. Okay. Yeah, do the thing.